When delving into the diverse perspectives on death, we find that beliefs extend beyond traditional frameworks. Primarily, three distinct views emerge. Atheism. This perspective posits that death culminates in nothingness, a complete cessation of being. Naturalism. Rooted in a scientific understanding, naturalism links consciousness directly to brain activity, suggesting that death signifies the end of individual experience. Religious teachings. Various religious doctrines offer views of an afterlife, often portraying paradisiacal or hellish realms based on one's earthly actions and beliefs. However, there exists a fourth, often underexplored perspective. In contemporary culture, the concept of an afterlife is frequently tied to religious contexts, predominantly focusing on paradisiacal notions. Yet, the reality is more nuanced, comprising a spectrum of interpretations that blend scientific inquiry, personal encounters, intuitive insights, age-old wisdom, individual accounts, and logical reasoning. These interpretations view the universe as an interconnected whole, influencing our understanding of death. This multifaceted approach to death raises several questions about the afterlife and how to comprehend this inevitable phenomenon from a spiritual standpoint. Here, we explore 5 insightful approaches to accepting death. 1. Understanding death as a cycle of creativity. In the grand tapestry of existence, death is not merely an endpoint or a beginning, but an integral part of a continuous cycle of creation and regeneration. This process can be likened to the life cycle of cells within our bodies. When a cell dies, it is seamlessly replaced by another, contributing to the ongoing renewal of our physical being. We don't typically refer to this cellular turnover as death, as it represents only one half of the body's creative cycle. Similarly, when our physical form ceases to exist, it decomposes and merges back into the earth, partaking in the natural recycling of matter. Concurrently, our consciousness, or what some might call the memory matrix, transitions into a new form. This could imply a rebirth of consciousness in another body or realm, depending on various philosophical or spiritual beliefs. In essence, death is an inherent element in the natural cycle of recycling both physical substances and consciousness. It's a process that underscores the perpetual flow of life, where endings are intertwined with new beginnings, and transformation is a constant. By viewing death through this lens, we can appreciate it as a vital creative force in the endless dance of existence. 2. Perceiving death as a transition. The concept of death as a transition challenges the traditional understanding of death. It proposes that what we term death is not an end, but rather a shift from one dimension of reality to another, from the physical to the spiritual, from the tangible to the intangible. In this transition, the essence of the soul, encompassing self-awareness, memories, and even certain personality traits, remains intact. This perspective envisions consciousness as separate from the physical body upon the cessation of brain activity, embarking on a new journey beyond the physical realm. Such a viewpoint raises the question, why label this process as death if it is not a cessation of existence, but a continuation in a different form? This interpretation aligns with many spiritual philosophies and religious beliefs, suggesting that our current life is merely a temporary sojourn. The state we often refer to as death is seen as a return to our original state or origin. This view reframes our understanding of life and death, presenting them not as opposites, but as interconnected phases in the continuous cycle of existence. 3. Embracing death as a rebirth. Death can be perceived as a doorway to a new beginning, a transformative rebirth. This concept encompasses both a metaphorical rebirth, as we recollect our true essence upon leaving our physical form, and the notion of reincarnation. Death is seen not as an end, but as a transition into another state of being. In this journey, one traverses the spirit realm, engaging in a period of reflection and life review alongside spiritual guides or angels. This is a time for souls to interact with their kindred spirits and contemplate their experiences. The purpose of this sojourn is to garner insights, understand the lessons learned, and prepare for further evolution. The process of reincarnation is viewed as a conscious choice, The soul selects a new body and life plan aligned with the lessons it seeks to learn in its next incarnation. It's a deliberate decision to re-enter the physical world with a renewed purpose. This cycle of death and rebirth is an opportunity for continuous learning and spiritual growth. As the Buddha insightfully stated, it is better to spend a day contemplating the birth and death of all things than 100 years without contemplating the beginnings and ends. This profound wisdom encourages us to reflect on the cyclical nature of existence, recognizing that in every ending lies the seed of a new beginning. Death, therefore, is not just an end, but a crucial phase in the ongoing journey of the soul. 4. Recognizing death as the ego's demise. Death is an impersonal event that signifies the dissolution of the ego. It represents the moment when all that defines you in the material sense, your conditioning, personal history, self-perception, thoughts, beliefs, values, and all that you identify with as an individual, fade away. At the point of physical death, the ego, along with personal ambitions, memories, and the physical body, ceases to exist. This marks a return to the soul's original state, free from the identifications with thought and form that shaped your earthly identity. Who you truly are transcends your job, past experiences, and personal reflections. Your consciousness then merges back into the universal field of consciousness. In this space, it relinquishes its individuality and prepares for a new beginning. Death, therefore, is not the cessation of consciousness, but the conclusion of your unique, subjective identity. It's a transition from personal existence to a state of greater, more expansive being, a return to the soul's essence, unbounded by the confines of the individual ego. 5. Accepting death as an awakening. Are you truly awake at this moment? Your senses are alert, you're aware of your body, and you know you're not asleep. But is being physically awake the same as being truly alive? How can we be certain of our aliveness? Consider the possibility that our current life is akin to an elaborate simulation, a sophisticated matrix designed to allow souls to evolve and experience the contrasts of duality. In this context, what we call death might not be an end but a shift in consciousness. Medically, yes, we are alive. Our hearts beat, our lungs breathe. But from a metaphysical standpoint, life could be likened to a dream, an intricate play staged within our consciousness. When we die, it might be an awakening, a realization that our earthly experiences were mere scenes in a grander cosmic play. It's as if we've been asleep in the universe's waiting room, only to awaken and understand the true nature of our existence. This perspective challenges us to rethink the boundaries between life and death, dream and reality, encouraging us to see our physical journey as part of a larger, more profound spiritual awakening. Living fearlessly. Embracing the reality of death. Spiritually enlightened individuals often share a common understanding. There is no need to fear death. It's the ego that harbors this fear, not the soul. The soul recognizes death as merely a transition, a familiar passage it has traversed multiple times. Enlightenment involves a metaphorical death before physical death. It's about realizing that the ego, the constructed self, is not the entirety of who you are. You start to experience consciousness as something far grander than your sense of self. This realization liberates you from the fear of non-existence. Your true essence, your core being, will always exist. It's not the ego, but the deeper, authentic you that endures. Discovering your true self diminishes the fear of death. This understanding transforms the concept of death from a source of dread to a meaningful aspect that enriches and brings depth to your life. Acknowledging and accepting death as a natural and integral part of existence allows you to live more fully, imbuing your life with a clearer sense of purpose and understanding. 5 enlightened perspectives on death. Understanding death from a spiritual standpoint offers insights far beyond conventional views. Here are 5 enlightened approaches that provide a deeper, more holistic understanding of what it means to transition from life to death. 1. The continuity of consciousness. This belief posits that death is not the end of consciousness, but a passage into a different state of existence. It suggests that our consciousness persists beyond our physical form, continuing in another realm or dimension. 2. The expansion of consciousness. Death is seen here as an expansion rather than a limitation. In this view, individual consciousness merges with a universal collective consciousness, signifying a return to a state of oneness with the cosmos. 3. The evolution of the self. From this perspective, death is a crucial phase in the soul's evolutionary journey. Earthly life is seen as a chapter in a longer story, a period of learning and growth, with death being the gateway to further spiritual advancement. 4. The cycle of life. This approach perceives death as an integral part of life's natural cycle, akin to the rhythms found in nature. Just as nature undergoes cycles of birth, growth, decay, and rebirth, human life is viewed as following a similar cyclical pattern. 5. The exploration of the unknown. This perspective embraces the mystery of death. It doesn't seek to define what lies beyond, but encourages an openness to the myriad possibilities. This viewpoint sees death as an adventure into uncharted territory, a journey into the unknown. Each of these perspectives offers a unique way to perceive and understand death through a spiritual lens. They challenge us to look beyond traditional beliefs and consider death as a meaningful, integral part of the broader tapestry of existence. These views invite us to see the transition from life to death not as an end, but as a continuation of our spiritual journey in different forms and dimensions.